Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey, everybody. This is Rodney Elliott on Intertalk Radio. Have a super special guest today. This is Jason Scheuner from Telefunken.
Hey, Rodney. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, this is Rodney's first show, so this is an awesome day, the inaugural show. I want to give a big thanks to our fun folks over at Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. They just want you to play it loud. And also our good friends over at SIR, where they rent gear. And if you need to get gear for your great event, or if you need it for your company, that's where you could go, because that's where all the pros go. And I'm sure they have some telefunken-mics over there.
They do. We have a great relationship with those guys. And in fact, I have one of their shirts that looks just like this one, except it has their logo instead of ours.
Yeah, the logo's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And, of course, they wear our shirts.
Exactly.
So, Rodney, first show, man. Rock and roll, brother.
Cool. So, yeah, I'd love to just talk a little bit about you personally as we start off, just, how you started there. Like, give us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up at Telefunken.
Well, let's see. I've always been a music junkie and never been a musician. So I always have tried to find different ways to make contributions to the industry that means so much to me and that brings me so much joy. So over the years, I worked for a number of different companies in the music industry that were all very high-end, very prestigious companies, and I did sales and artist relations and marketing and development. And I was working with a particular case company that made really high-end cases. And I think it was right around 2000 when they went to re-release the Elam 251 microphone. And I contacted Telefunken, and I offered to make the only piece that they could not resurrect from scratch the way that it was in the 50s. Which was the case, because it never came with a case originally.
Interesting.
So I wound up designing the case that you actually see here for the 251 and started a relationship with the company, which went on for many years. And then in 2009, they asked me to come on with them full-time and develop and run the artist relations program. And I convinced them that they did not want me in Connecticut, that they wanted me in San Diego, where I could have a different set of hours and a further reach, and I wouldn't have the ability to look over anybody's shoulder in the office and ask about projects for clients and sort of get in the way or be a nuisance.
Sure.
It's more important for me to be dependable and available, and then also, of course, knowledgeable about our stuff. So
nice.
That's how I came to be in this position.
Very cool, very cool. And them being in Connecticut and you being out here, has there been any difficulty in that aspect, or is it just the hours and the different hours that's the only issue, that, if at all?
There's actually no issues, because by the time I wake up in the morning, they've already been, at the office and gotten things going. So I can wake up, make up a cup of coffee, and turn on my email and have the stuff that I need to deal with for the day in front of me. Then I go throughout my day, and by the time it gets to be 2:30 here, the office there is closing down. But then I'm still available for my clientele to call me 7 days a week, anytime between relatively early in the morning and reasonable hours at night. So I extend our hours quite a bit. And I go to the office every couple of years when we're in New York for AES, and I get to see a lot of the different folks that I work with at different trade shows and different events that we do, because even though I do a lot of those different things, we sort of rotate the people from the office that do them. So I get to interact with my coworkers more than you would think.
Oh, cool. And do you have Any bands or favorite bands that you've worked with over the years that you'd love to share with us? It could be with Telefunken or even personal with other stories. Or
I've definitely worked with too many bands to
Right.
to try to think of. I would say this. It's certainly, you can go to our website, www.t-funk.com, and check out our artist gallery. You'll see bands there that are all over the spectrum, and between stage and studio and all the different aspects of what we do, the range of clientele that we might work with at any given day might go from Snoop Dogg to Green Day to Tim McGraw to Lady Gaga to members of the Grateful Dead. So it's all over the place, and people don't realize how small a company we are, because our footprint in the industry is huge and our reputation and our status are huge. But you're talking about a company of roughly 20 employees.
Not so small, yeah.
So, and everybody involved with the company is dedicated to music and the music industry. So the amount of range of what our staff and our crew are sort of into is really all over the place. But of course, we are drawn to fidelity and quality and tone and the things that everybody else in our industry, love also.
And do you have any special mics that you want to discuss or talk about that you're really passionate about right now with the company?
Fortunately, we are a company that everything we develop, we take our time with, and we're extremely proud of everything that we make, and there's not a lot of overlap. In fact, there's not really any overlap. Products are made to sort of work with each other and to complement each other.
Love it.
And what I tell people all the time, like for instance, within our RFT line, which is our line of mics that's sort of in that $1,300 to $1,900 range, people will say all the time, well, which is the best one? And I say, well, it's like going to an ice cream shop that makes the best ice cream in the world. And they use the best cream and the best sugar and the best fresh fruit. And you say, well, what's the best kind of ice cream? It really depends on the flavor that you're after and the flavor that you're looking for that mood and that vibe. But the quality across the board is consistent.
Yeah, love it.
And if you get two different products, you're going to find that they will complement each other and give you different tone, different timbre, different sort of shape, but consistently give you a certain level of results. Like, for instance, right now we decided for this segment that we would put you on the M81.
This is the M81. You can hear my voice on the M81.
That's the Rasta mic.
And that one,
That's the
right,
Rasta
that
mic.
came out of the custom shop. That was a project that we did with Toots from Toots and the Maytals, who actually coined the phrase reggae. So he worked with us on that design with those colors and the line and that sort of
Amazing.
thing.
Got the little tiger on there.
I was amazed by the weight of it when you pointed that out when you said that. And I think we're going to have some videos later on that we'll be able to show on YouTube. If you are listening, you'll be able to check those out. But I was, I'm engineering, so I'm getting a chance to hear it. And Rodney sounds so robust on it. I mean, we might have to flip out these microphones. I won't even say what microphones we have here. They're supposed to be industry standard, but they're not Telefunken. I'm not as happy. Like I said, man, you may have a hard time getting out of this room.
Exactly.
Well, and then I'm using the M82, which is not only our kick drum microphone, but it's also a really wonderful broadcast microphone and works on a lot of different applications that were it works better on more things than we ever imagined that it would. But developing a mic that we thought would be a really spectacular kick drum mic, because we didn't think there was one out there that was worth sort of reverse engineering or modeling after. We thought everybody's using a combination of things, room mic and different mics to get a good kick sound.
Yeah.
So we developed a mic that would have just drop it in there and let it go and get great results every time. And it turned out to also be a wonderful broadcast mic. Imagine that.
Now, is there a couple other mics that you recommend on drums alone? Is there hi-hat mics, overhead mics, snare mics, tom mics?
Well, oddly enough, I brought
Just because you brought them,
a set of our M60s, which is our small diaphragm FET condenser. And it comes in a lot of configurations. This is what we call the master stereo set, which has matched bodies, and it has cardioid capsules, omni capsules, and hypercardioid capsules, and they're hot swappable. And the kit comes with the mounts and the cables and that sort of thing. And people had been purchasing these mics with our DD5 and DD4 drum pack.
Oh, wow.
So we just actually expanded the drum pack to the DC7 Drum Combo 7 pack, which has our M80 in the short version on the snare, M81 in the short version for the 3 toms, the M82 on the kick, and all the different cables and mounts in the case. And again, now we've added the overhead mics as well, and we're going to be also doing one that will have a third FET condenser with a hypercardioid capsule for your hat, and that'll be a DC8 mic pack that will probably be coming sometime soon, but certainly can be ordered, at any time in that configuration.
Love it. And is there specific guitar microphones, or is there a bass?
As we return, that signal gives us the outro for our commercial. We'll be right back on Music Gear Talk with host Rodney Elliott and telefunken. Be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey everyone, this is Rodney Elliott here on Gear Talk. We are lucky enough to have Jason Scheuner from Telefunken, and we're just getting into a little more about some of the bands, what they use. Drum mics we just finished talking a little bit about, and we're moving into just asking about some characteristics and maybe some of the things that people are really loving about guitar, bass. We were talking this mic actually would be great on a horn.
The 82 is great. Actually, it's 82 is great on baritone sax. The mic that you're using, the M81, is our favorite dynamic mic for guitar cabinets, for a lot of horns. It's just a great universal dynamic across the board.
It's got a very crisp. The characteristics are very crisp, but then there's a nice low end as I get closer to it.
Yeah, people ask all the time if it's a condenser, and they're always amazed that it's a dynamic. But we make, what's interesting about Telefunken is people know about our historic sort of legacy microphones, and we make still the U47, the U48, the Elam 251, which I brought one of today to show. And we also still make the C12, and we make them what I call historically correct, where they're absolutely exactly the same sonically and as far as the components of the microphone as they were when they were made originally in 1946 and 1959 and 1953. But we're the only company that's ever gotten those microphones right. And there are countless examples of companies that have tried to make their version of a 47 or a 251 or a C12, and they always fall short. Even when they turn out to be really good mics, they don't sound correct. And we learned a lot getting all of those microphones absolutely correct. And if you look across the board, people acknowledge in every level of the industry that they are correct. They sound like those vintage mics sounded when they were brand new. But everything that we learned from those mics, we put into our RFT line, which is the Copperhead and the AK-47 Mark II and the AR-51. And what you've got are the key components as far as the circuits and the tubes and the transformers and the capsule designs that are in those classic mics, but put into more affordable, more accessible packages. And so those types of microphones are what I was talking about as far as the level of quality and the different flavors.
Sure, yeah.
That applies to those microphones as well.
Does Telefunken use a specific tube company that they like? That are they different depending on each, or is there one that they really like that they're using?
Well, they're all different based on different designs. And there are certain tubes that we manufacture. For instance, we manufacture the VF14K for our newly manufactured U47s and U48s, which is a plug-and-play replacement for the old VF14. And if you have a vintage mic, you can drop one right into it with no modifications to the mic or the power supply. But we also use a lot of new old stock tubes from companies like GE and that sort of thing for like the 251 and the C12. We also use new old stock Telefunken tubes, like in the AK-47 Mark II and in the Elam 260 and in the AC-701 version of the 251. So we use a range of different tubes. In fact, the Copperhead is developed entirely around a new old stock Telefunken tube that we found to be so balanced and so quiet and just so effective as a tube that we designed a microphone around it.
Wow.
And that mic has proven to be more than popular.
Right. And how long do tubes usually last? If a mic's being used like every day in a studio, it's like one of their favorite mics and they're always on it. Are tubes, do they have a certain amount of time before they start, you're hearing a difference and they'll start?
It really varies, although the idea is that a tube should last you for many, many years. And we have mics come in sometimes for service where a tube just went down and the tube that comes out of it is 50, 60 years old or older. But we also have situations where we put a new old stock tube in a microphone and it can fail within a short period of time, which is something that you want to consider in your different designs and make sure that you have enough tubes to cover warranty and that sort of thing. And we have a tremendous stock or stash of tubes, and we make sure that anything we build we can service long into the future.
So one of the things I wanted to ask was just that, when did this company start and where are they from? And we got a little history of you, but what about a little bit of history of the actual company? Like, where are they from? When did they start? How did they get where they are now?
Well, the parent company in Germany was actually started in 1903. So Telefunken's been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, do the math on that one.
Yeah. The division that I'm a part of here in the United States was reestablished right around 2000 to originally remanufacture the ELAM 251 and then the U47 and the C12 and all the models that we put out subsequently. We are the electroacoustic division, and we are an independent division, although we are still associated with the parent company. So making microphones by hand in South Windsor, Connecticut since 2000. And everything that we do is made in Connecticut. Everything's made in the good old USA.
Well, people like to hear that. That's why we need to ask. And is there any other microphones that we're missing that we didn't talk about, such as we were going back into instruments for it?
Well, one of the things that I tell people all the time is that a really great microphone can be used on tons of sources. You can have one really great microphone and use it across the board on your whole record and get really wonderful results. In fact, that's what more and more people are doing these days, especially at the high level, because you can build a nice home studio and you can work on things in your own time, and each time you can apply your key tool. And what you find is that somebody, even if they have 100 microphones, once they get one of our really good mics, they'll just use it on everything. And I say all the time, the most economical thing that you can do in any studio is to spend the money on good microphones. And fortunately, you can get great microphones from us actually without spending a fortune. They're incredibly affordable. But it saves you so much time getting tones and getting your initial tracking done. It saves you so much time in the mix because you're not trying to fix anything. And it saves time in post-production, and it saves you that regret on the back end of, that never really did sound quite right.
Yeah.
And with really great mics and really simple mic techniques, you can just get stunning results very, very easily. And people are constantly amazed at how easily they get phenomenal results when they're using the right tools and they don't overthink it.
Well, what about live? What would you say is a great live vocal mic? Would that be the one I'm speaking into now?
Yes, there's the M81, and then also the complement to the M81, which is the M80. And what I like to say when people ask me the difference is the 80 has more sparkle and more cut, but the 81 has a little bit more low end and it has a little bit more meat in the mid-range. It's not quite as bright. But for instance, the M80, when you use it on a snare, it gives you all the sparkle, all the snap, all the top end, and guys that use it won't go back to anything else. And then you find that
sold already.
Yeah, exactly. And then what you find is that you won't need a snare bottom because all the snap and all the top end that you're getting out of that, you're actually getting from the M80.
Interesting.
And then the M81 is sort of a foil to that. So if you have a singer, in most cases, the M80 or the M81 will work beautifully. The only people that they don't seem to work for are people that come way out of the pattern because they have such a tight pattern and have tremendous isolation that if you are one of those people that wants to, get
go
way
all crazy away
right,
from
you
it.
get far enough away, you just all of a sudden you kind of pop out of the pattern. And
or what
those
about
are
the people that hug it or cup it too much?
That's okay.
Yeah,
and they're very durable. I've seen them take abuse that's just tremendous.
Well, yeah, when you say a band like Green Day, I mean, I'm sure they're all over the stage and things get knocked over, bumped into and just moving on and keep going. And
Well, oddly enough, there was a band that was out in support of Green Day, AFI.
yes,
And their engineer originally wanted 4 microphones to use for them. And then he said, no, I'll just take 3. And he said, I'm afraid to put one on my lead vocalist. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, at the end of this section of the show, he throws the microphone down on the stage like an angry kid and walks away. He said, I want to do that to the mic. I said, well, put a piece of tape on that one, and let's see how many times it hits the stage before it breaks. And it made it through the whole tour, even though we had to replace the head grill more than once.
Sure.
The mic made it through, and it still sounded like the other ones at the end of the tour.
in my personal history, and I forget the guy's name, and you might know the sound engineer for Green Day, their live sound engineer.
Kevin Lemoyne.
Kevin knows him. Yep.
Great engineer.
Ultimate favorite engineer growing up. I sat in and was a house engineer when they played and just watched everything he did. And I took notes, and he actually is one of the reasons why I'm doing sound to this day.
Right on. Yeah, he's a good guy as well.
That's aside from
Great
just being
engineer.
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
And you're wearing that microphone really well there.
I know, dude. It's green. Anything green with yellow.
Yeah,
so,
man. You Rastafari and
That's it.
Put your muse band back and start doing a reggae band.
Reggae band, exactly.
Well, hey, we've got that commercial break coming up here pretty quick. So as we're coming up, it goes quick, right, Jason?
It does go quick.
Yeah. This has been Music Gear Talk with Rodney Elliott. We'll be right back in a few short minutes. Thanks, Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. And, of course, our good friends over at SIR who use telefunken-mics.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey everyone, this is Rodney with Enter Talk. We are lucky enough to have Jason Scheuner here with Telefunken. Getting right into it. Jason, I was curious, is there any studios locally or in just Southern California in general that absolutely love the mics? And
too many to list.
Too many to
and
list.
I don't want to plug anybody in particular or leave anybody out. But I did want to do this in honor of your first show. I brought you a T-shirt, Telefunken T-shirt.
Only because he knows I'm going to actually wear it.
And a Telefunken lighter. And, of course, we've got one for Florentino as well.
Love it.
And but I tell you what I do want to do, since this is Gear Talk, I want to send people somewhere.
I'm going to light the lighter like it's a concert.
Yeah, hey, what are you lighting over there? So I want to send people somewhere where they can gear out and geek out a little bit.
Sure.
There's a couple of spots I think people might want to check out on our website, which is www.t-funk.com.
There's no way you can forget that.
Right, exactly, T-Funk. And so there's a section on our website, there's an audio-video button, and you'll find a couple things on that section that you'll want to check out. Number one is we have multi-tracks. Some are live, some are from studios. And what you've got is not only all of our different microphones set up so that you can download it into your own digital audio workstation and listen and mix and play around with these things like they're your own tracks, but everything is double and triple mic'd, and sometimes even quadruple mic'd, depending on the source material and where we were. And what it does is it allows you to not only hear these mics, but hear them in context with other mics and make different comparisons of, say, I'm going to use this vocal mic with these small diaphragm tube condensers for overheads on the drums. Now I'm going to use this vocal mic with this mic on the guitar, and I'm going to use a stereo mic as the overhead on the drums, and really hear different combinations. And, of course, you can solo things up and hear what these mics really sound like and compare on a particular pass, on a particular source, multiple mics that you may have been interested in or want to consider, and not just hear, yes, it sounds good.
That's great.
But now I can hear why it sounds different from this particular mic. And like I said, those are live and studio tracks. And then we also have a section there called Live from the Lab. And what that is tons of different bands and artists that come through our lab in South Windsor, Connecticut, where everything is handmade. And we convert one of the areas into a live performance area. And of course, we have a really nice studio there. And what we can do is mic up these different bands and use these sort of, fantasy mic locker combinations and have these live performances. And what you see is the artists getting off on the fidelity of what they're doing right then and there.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we get feedback afterwards, sometimes, months and even years later, from bands. Oh, I remember when we played the lab. That was the best sounding thing I ever heard. So you can go and you can listen to that stuff and check it out and really get a vibe for what these things are all about and what we're doing and why we're a little different than most other companies. If you see us at a trade show, you'll notice that all of our microphones are stripped down and the guts of the microphones are exposed. And it's sort of a message to our faithful clientele, like, look what you're getting. When you pop open the hood,
you literally are
you got more horsepower, more engine than anybody else. But it also says to our competition, it's like, you want to do what we do? You want to spend what we spend on parts. You want to machine the things that we machine. You want to make what we make, use the tubes that we use. You want to make all this stuff by hand in America and still sell it for the kind of prices that we're putting on our products. Go right ahead. So it's a way to sort of explore what we're all about on a deeper level, on a sonic level, which is what really matters to people.
Sure. And I was actually, that's where we met at a trade show named NAMM here in Southern California. And as I'm geeking out on all the mics.
Just a little bitty trade show.
Yeah, just a little
NAMM.
one, just a little couple people there.
Yeah, 100,000, 108,000 this year, I think, something like that.
Exactly.
They said Friday was the largest attendance they ever had ever.
And there was no parking.
No.
Because they had the parking closed off. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it
this
was
year.
ridiculous.
So as I'm there literally geeking out on all these microphones and just talking to people and telling everyone about how much I liked them and whatnot, like, oh, you just got to talk, Jason. Like, just make it happen. Like, we got to get you on the show immediately as soon as possible. Like, it's always good to discuss or talk about something that you're passionate about or something that you've used. And I'm absolutely a super fan of Telefunken. I've used them on several records. Every single thing he said, it was just something that I personally felt passionate about having on my show, because not only did I use the mic and liked it and the characteristics, but it also was a part of making the song and finding out what worked for the certain voices and the certain instruments. And it's just one of those things that, me being lucky enough to have him in Southern California, and we weren't just talking over a phone. And
Yeah, you were pretty surprised when I said I lived in San Diego.
Yeah, that was a little random, but cool. It's like meant to be. So,
and I will say this: all the mics I brought, and I brought a range of stuff. I brought some dynamics, and I brought the M60s, and I brought a Copperhead, and this is our 251, the most sought after microphone in history. But all of these mics, everything that I brought, these are all mine. These are all my own personal mics. So I'm it's like the hair club guy who's not just a client, or
Right.
not just a president, he's the
Right.
client. I'm not just the artist liaison, I'm also a mic junkie as well.
are you also an engineer? Do you record? Are you?
I used to work on records, but since I got deep enough into the industry, I don't really have time to dedicate to that type of process. So what I do as often as I can is I will advise on projects, and I will put my stuff at the disposal of different folks at different times, or discuss different mic techniques, or here's what we would use and here's what we would try. And so I have this incredible luxury of getting feedback on what I do every day. Not everybody is able to see the results of their job, but I get to hear it when I walk into venues and hear how good it sounds coming off of a stage, or I get to listen to a record and hear what's going on in that record. And I've had discussions with folks after a record's made, and I've listened to the record and said, did you use this on this particular thing? And they say, yeah, how did you know that? And I said, I can hear it, and it sounds awesome, Yeah. So that type of reward and feedback from what we do is a big part of why I do what I do.
You're passionate about it. You feel like you're lucky at some point. You feel like
I couldn't be
so
any
lucky.
luckier.
And on top of that, you're also wearing Telefunken headphones.
I am. I'm sporting our THP29, which is it's an isolation based headphone. It's 29 dB of isolation.
Oh wow!
So they're great if, like, for instance, if you're playing drums and you don't want the Q mix just blowing your ears out, try to get over the sound of what's going on in the room. Sure. It's also great if you're cutting a vocal and you don't want the Q mix to bleed into your vocal mic.
Sure.
They're comfortable. I wear them on airplanes, and
they got the retro look to them. You got to look good,
Yeah, they look good. People love them, and of course, it's got the coolest logo in history, the Telefunken logo plastered on them.
Still one of my. That's why I'm literally going to be seeing me wearing this shirt regularly now. Also, some other live aspects. Do you bring mics to bands that you're trying to that have heard of you and they want to check out mics, or how would a band come to you? What does that process consist of? Yeah.
Great question. All right. So people think of us as an exclusive product because it's sort of the Rolls Royce of the industry. But we're a very inclusive company. We call our artist program our family of artists, and we take that approach.
Love that term.
So we don't pursue anybody, because when you go pursue somebody, then they want to put you over a barrel, and we don't play that game.
No. But you are Telefunken.
Anybody who comes to us, we look at that as when somebody says, this is the tool that I want to use, we know that they're already at a certain level of industry savvy, because they're coming to us. And if you want to use the best stuff out there, there's a reason. You don't just come upon that on your if it's your first rodeo. So we do a lot of work with different bands trying to again, advise them on what it is they may want to use. A lot of guys know what they want from the very beginning, or they've run into it out there and they said, "Oh, I heard this mic and I've got to have it." I get an email every day from somebody who heard an M80 at some show that they were doing. An engineer had it, or the other band, and they're just blown away and they've got to have it. That sort of thing. But we try to provide as much support and as much direct contact for information and for questions and for support as we can. So we're very easy to work with, and I'm the easiest guy in the world to find. Jason at t-funk.com is my email, and like I said, big part of doing my job is being dependable and being available. And since I don't have to go into the office in Connecticut, I have to make myself available 7 days a week for a pretty wide range. So we try to provide the level of service that we provide in our product, and with the level of product being that high, it sets the bar. So
love it. So yeah, we're going to go back to a commercial here. We really appreciate you coming on our show.
Yeah, it's basically an honor to have you here because I love the mics as well. I haven't said who I am. This is Florentino from the Changing Stage Radio Show. I'm board hopping for Rodney here today, and we really appreciate you. This has been
Thanks for having me.
Gear Talk. We got one more segment, so stay tuned. That one we're going to talk a little bit about the industry, and of course, Rodney's been a big part of that, and he's been a big helper with us here. And of course, telefunken-mics. Those are the mics to get. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey, we're back here with Rodney Elliott, and I wanted to thank Rodney, and I wanted to thank EnterTalk, and I wanted to thank Florentino also for running the board. Thanks for having me here, Rodney.
It's
And
an
again,
absolute
thanks
pleasure.
again to EnterTalk Radio.
Great relationship to start here. So yeah, basically I just wanted to kind of go into where Telefunken is now and where do you plan on going in the future? You know, what's going on in the industry? Do you have new products? Is there new places you want to go? Or are you feeling like you're solid where you're at and just keep making great products?
Well, I'll tell you, we're in a very interesting spot. I also want to give a shout out to our owner, Tony Fishman. And it's because of guys like Tony that we have the ability to do what we do. And it's interesting you ask, do we have any new products? And of course, we're always working on new things, but we are in a position because of our owner, Tony Fishman, pushing us for not the bottom line, but pushing us for excellence. And that's a tremendous luxury in today's industry. And so we're never in a rush with anything. We never cut corners. We take our time with everything we do. So it's interesting. A lot of companies always want to have a new product for every trade show.
Yeah.
And when people say to us, what's new? I always say, what's new? You mean what's old?
Yeah.
We're still making microphones that were exactly the same as they were in the 40s and 50s and 60s. But we are working on some new things, but we just we take our time with them. So when they come out, they're right, and we've got our ducks in a row.
I think quality really cuts through the noise. So that's really, I think that's a testament to you guys, because you can shout out about everything else and under the sun, but until you get that, like you said, listening to it and hearing it and feeling it and experiencing it, that really kind of cuts through. So
Absolutely.
I give you guys big props on that.
Yeah, it's all about the real performance and the service to the industry that the products are providing over and above any kind of meeting a particular deadline or trying to market or hype anything. We know that our products will always speak for themselves.
Nice. And do you have certain microphones that you guys are recreating or trying to make better in any way that you already exist, that there's certain aspects of that, such as you were saying you made them correctly? Are there patents on microphones that, how does that work?
Oddly enough, a lot of that stuff is not protected. But what's interesting is what makes it protected is how difficult it is to do.
Correct. Yeah.
There's so much that goes into trying to build something like that it's a daunting task, and most people don't want to mess with it. But I will tell you that, for instance, like a microphone like the AR-51. The AR-51 was meant to be as close as possible to something like the 251 as possible sonically, but trying to make it a more affordable package. For instance, it uses the same exact tube, transformer, and circuit as a C12 or a 251. And it has the edge-terminated capsule design that was used in those microphones. But because we don't have to make everything time machine correct, like the finish and the cable and the power supply and all those things exactly the same, we're able to save a lot of money. Putting the pattern selector on the power supply instead of on the microphone saves us a fortune with that. So we're able to offer that type of product, but we're also able to make upgrades. For instance, like with these classic legacy mics, the only changes that we've made are to the power supply because we make them better. They're more regulated. The ability to have a soft start, which is much easier on the tube and the elements of the microphone.
Sure.
But for instance, you could take this microphone right here that we've got, this new 251, and you could take a vintage 251, and you could change out every last tiny little component, screws and resistors and little filaments or whatever it was, until they switch places entirely, because they are time machine correct. So
Are parts hard to find, though? Is there certain aspects of microphones that are like you're time constricted to finding parts?
We got to make all that stuff.
Wow.
We manufacture all that stuff. The only thing that we don't manufacture are the tubes, and we do source those vintage tubes. But we there's a lot of machining that goes into something like that. A lot of handwork, and we can never make them fast enough.
Of course.
In fact, I even had to delay a mic for Neil Young that was ordered on I think New Year's Eve day that just got delivered to Los Angeles today.
Got to wait for quality.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes a while to make something by hand, but quite often we have things that are more readily available, but we don't rush anything.
And what about colors? I'm noticing how we have different colors and stuff. Can you specifically ask for a color if you're having a mic made for you? You're making it to a certain spec. Can you literally ask for a certain color?
It depends. We have a very cool custom shop, and our custom shop started originally with the guys from ZZ Top wanting M80s in chrome, and they were going to try to do it themselves. And we said, no, you'll really make a mess of this. So we wound up making chrome M80s, and they went over huge, and it sort of snowballed from there. And now we make a number of different colors, which you can see on our website, green and yellow and red and blue, and you can actually use different combinations to represent different sports or school colors, whatever that sort of thing is.
Yep.
But we also have a gold finish, we have a chrome finish, we have some faux wood finishes, an oak and a cherry, that sort of thing. And we'll also have people that will purchase head grills in multiple colors on a mic like an M80 or an M81, and they'll use that sort of neutral color on the body tube, but then they'll change the head grill every night to match their belt and tie or their scarf and shoes or whatever it may be.
Because they can, and because you can for them,
right? And because we're a small enough company that we still have the ability to work on those custom projects and get them done effectively at a very high level. You can see not only is that mic look cool and it's incredibly well made, but you can see how durable that finish is. That mic actually just came back from being on loan on the road for the last 2 or 3 weeks with a band called the Motet, an East Coast band, and their front of house engineer is a huge supporter of ours. Shout out to Charles Twilling. He got separated from his whole stash of Telefunkens and really wanted to take this stuff on the road. So I loaned him a bunch of my own stuff since we're old friends, and he got back to me at the end of the tour. He says now that the band wants to buy their own stage full of Telefunken mics. And,
nice.
We also want to give a shout out to the Belly Up Tavern. We have a relationship with the Belly Up, and not only are they a great venue, but they have a lot of our mics on hand at the Belly Up. So different bands that come through will get the opportunity to try out our mics, or bands that already use our mics can try out stuff on some different things. So it's nice to have a relationship with them because they will expose our product to folks. And then when I go and meet with clientele that come through there, they always make it very easy, and they're always very accommodating. They're wonderful folks over there.
No, it's a great venue. I actually did sound there for years, but I wasn't there when they had that program, so I felt like I missed out on that opportunity.
It's been going on. I think we've done that for the last maybe 3 or 4 years. Damien, the production manager over there, is a big fan of our stuff, and
yep, he probably loves this mic too.
He does. In fact, I just loaned him a couple of my own personal mics for a studio project that he was working on.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we really, really appreciate you coming down here. We're super lucky to have had you, and we're hoping to have you back again sometime soon.
We got more to talk about. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
This has been Music Gear Talk with Rodney Elliott, brought to you by SIR and Pitbull Audio. Make sure you stay tuned for next week at 7 p.m.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.